Here we are back with John. All right, so where we were talking about the electronics, this MK6 and this box right here, you were saying is what's going to allow us to use the switches from the head array to plug into a communication device or maybe a switch interface,
yep,
or anything that has a direct stereo plug you have there.
A mouse simulator.
But the mouse simulator would have to be separate, right?
That would be separate.
Okay.
Right.
All right,
or
so
you can do like a switch activated toy through this. You know, simple toy that you would have with switch activation with an 1/8 inch plug. You can just plug this right in, and the head array would activate that toy.
Gotcha. So what you have here is that's a serial.
That's right. That's a 9-pin.
Okay.
And so it comes out of here. You have to just make sure that the chair is programmed to turn this on at some point, and I can go into that later.
Okay.
This comes out of here, and you're just going to have 4 ports.
Or we could just use one or two of those.
You can just use one or two, whatever you want, and these are labeled. This comes from ASL, and these are labeled. So this would be your left, this would be your forward, this would be your right, and this would be your reverse.
For like directional scanning sort of thing.
Well, at least so you know which switch on the head array is working, right? So if you want the kid to activate the toy and you want him to use, his right switch, then you'd have to plug in the right one into that toy for it to work.
That makes sense. Okay. Now, it's probably too much, we probably get really into the weeds now because I can anticipate the question, well, what if we want to do this all by Bluetooth? That should probably be another video, right?
No? Well, it's something I don't know that much about, but what I do know is that ASL now has a head array. Mm-hmm. It's called the Atom. I think part number is 104.
Oh my!
It's called the Atom, and it's going to have these wires are going to attach themselves to a box back here, and that box is wireless Bluetooth connectivity.
Okay.
So you can program that box to connect to the environmental control.
So that would take the place of these wires that are connecting. It would take the place of
this auxiliary box. The wires would still come down to plug into this ASL box and work with the chair.
Okay.
But you could just hit a button on that headrest, and now you're controlling a communication device or a toy or whatever.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it's much easier. It's a much easier process than having to get this auxiliary box.
Gotcha.
That's really what it is.
Okay. So, all right. Well, I think that. All right. So while we're here, let's move on. So this thing here, this is our control of the chair itself, right, from behind.
No, this is the powered seating system. So what this chair has is powered tilt, forward and back. So tilt is different from recline, right? Tilt is when the whole seating system moves up and down, tilts back and forth.
Okay.
Recline is just the backrest.
Right. Gotcha.
And then it also elevates, and that's the control for this. And that's what this box here is. So if you go to ask me, well, what's this box here?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what's that box there?
Is just to control. It's the control system for this powered seating system.
Gotcha. Okay. And then so this thing over here with the joystick is how we drive it from back here.
That would be the joystick. So since this student is going to be driving with the head array, I need a way to have the chair still drivable with the joystick. For me, sort of like an attendant control. And so instead of having a separate attendant control, I just put the joystick back here, and then I have the ability to turn the chair on and off, switch the drive modes, which we can talk about, and of course drive the chair around to get the chair from one classroom to the other, from student to student, and so forth.
Gotcha. All right, am I missing anything else on this chair? I see you have I don't typically see this extra button switch on the back of a chair.
Yeah.
What's that for?
So typically for a student who's driving with a head array, they would need a 4th switch site in order to hit reverse.
Okay.
And or do the reset. And so I have it set up back here for me to be able to hit reverse for the instant that a student crashes into a wall. I want to be able to back them up if I need to. And that's what this button does.
Gotcha.
So once they get proficient enough, then I give them this button so that they can use it to back up or do reset. And what reset means is that if a student is driving with a head array, you want to give them the opportunity to be able to bring their head down or relax without the chair driving. So what you can do is program the chair to go into sleep mode after you haven't driven for a few seconds. You can say, okay, if you don't drive for 3 seconds, the chair goes into a sleep mode. So the student learns that. They drive, They get to the location they wanted to, they will bring their head down, wait 3 seconds, they'll hear a beep, and the chair goes into sleep mode. Then to get the chair out of sleep mode, they would have to hit that 4th switch.
Okay.
And then it turns the head array back on.
And you refer to that as reset.
It's this then would be a reset
Gotcha.
switch.
Awesome, John. Thank you. All right, we'll pick it up from here.